Let's make traditional bread and butter pickles. To make these bread and butter pickles, you're going to need 6 pounds of cucumbers. You can use pickling cucumbers, often referred to as Kirby's. You can use English hothouse cucumbers, or you can even use these little mini cucumbers. Any type of cucumber in this family will do. Next, you're going to need 8 cups peeled and thinly sliced white or yellow onions. That's approximately 3 pounds. Then you're going to need a ½ cup canning and pickling salt, 4 cups of 5% acidity vinegar, white or apple cider vinegar, but if you use apple cider vinegar, it does not need to be raw. Then you're going to want 4½ cups of crystallized pure cane sugar, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard seeds, 1½ tablespoons of celery seeds, 1 tablespoon of ground turmeric, 1 teaspoon of calcium chloride. Now, calcium chloride is also sold under the name Pickle Crisp, and as the name implies, it keeps the pickles crisp. However, that is optional if you would prefer not to put Pickle Crisp into your pickles. When making these bread and butter pickles, you're going to have approximately 8 pint jars. First, you want to prepare your water bath canner and all your needed canning supplies, and I recommend using wide mouth jars. Now, I'm going to be using English hothouse cucumbers and also some of these small cucumbers, which I bought at the store. Kirby cucumbers were not available. Now, I'm not 100% sure which is the blossom end and which is the stem end, so I'm going to take off both ends. Cutting off the blossom end is crucial, as this will help to keep the pickles crisp. Now, I've got a crinkle cutter here, which makes the pickles look very cute, almost like store-bought. And that can be sometimes nice when you're convincing people to enjoy your home canned goods. Just press down. It's very easy to do. And you want to try to slice these best you can, somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Combine cucumbers and onions in a large bowl. Add salt and then cover with 2 inches crushed or cubed ice. Refrigerate 3 to 4 hours, adding more ice as needed. Well, I took the cucumbers and onions out of the refrigerator, and if you notice, there may still be a lone ice cube here and there in your cucumbers and onion mixture, but don't worry, this can happen because after 3 or 4 hours in your refrigerator, especially if you have a cold refrigerator, not all of the ice will melt, but that's okay, it's nothing to worry about. Now we're gonna make our brine. You're gonna combine vinegar, sugar, yellow mustard seeds, celery seeds, and the ground turmeric in a large, non-reactive saucepan or stock pot. You're going to place this on your stovetop burner. Boil the mixture for 10 minutes, stirring well to make sure all the salt and sugar have dissolved. Well, this has been boiling for 10 minutes, so now we're going to remove our lid and we're going to start adding in our cucumber and onion mixture. You can go ahead and drain these over a bowl if you want, but remember, retain whatever liquid has come off of your cucumbers because we're going to be using them. But I'm just going to use this spider strainer. It's just very easy to get things in. Be careful, the liquid is very hot and you don't want it splashing up and burning you. Slowly reheat everything together, bringing it back up to a boil, watching closely and stirring when needed to avoid sticking or scorching. Once the mixture comes up to a boil, turn off the heat and transfer the saucepan or stock pot to a heat-proof surface. To prepare your pickles for the water bath canner, fill hot jars with pickle slices, onions, spices, and hot pickling liquid, leaving a 1/2 inch headspace. Sprinkle 1/8 teaspoon of calcium chloride, that's your Pickle Crisp, into your jar, if desired. Use a flat edge knife or your debubbler to remove any bubbles from the filled jar. If the headspace drops below a ½ inch, add additional hot pickling liquid to the jar. And be sure to follow lesson How to Water Bath Can, a step-by-step process to prepare your filled jars for the canner. The processing times or boiling times for pint jars of traditional bread and butter pickles is 10 minutes for an altitude of 0 to 1,000 feet above sea level, 15 minutes for an altitude of 1,001 to 6,000 feet above sea level, or 20 minutes for an altitude of 6,000 feet above sea level. These are one of my favorite things to start taking out of the water bath canner because I think they're so beautiful, and I will tell you in all honesty, although home canned pears are delicious, these pickles are actually my favorite. Well, I'll continue taking the rest of the jars out of my canner, and then we'll leave the bands on, we'll wait 12 to 24 hours, then we'll remove the bands, we'll check the seals, and then we can pop them in our pantry. And 3 weeks from now, you're gonna have a delicious pickle.